Welcome to Subvocalize and Entitled Parents. Today we have a story from June-san. This happened a few months ago and it turned out to be longer than I thought when I typed it out. I was flying one of those cheap airlines where the seats are all crammed together, so I paid extra for a seat with more legroom, which also gave me free priority boarding. Usually I don't care for that, but when you've got cabin bag, getting on early so you don't have to keep it under your seat is worth waiting in the plane. After being one of the first people on board the plane is now pretty much fully boarded. Enter entitled mother, and son about 12 years I would guess. I see them talking to a crew member for a while, but go back to listening to my music when I feel a tap on my shoulder, so I remove my headphones. Hey, I'm flying with my mum and I was wondering if I could swap seats with her so we could sit together. I look over to where the mum is sitting, and it's a standard seat. No, I'm sorry. Kid looks a bit defeated but walks away. I put my headphones in and start to relax, when I hear a loud voice. Excuse me? Yes? Me and my son need your seat as he is scared of flying, so we need to sit together. I'm sorry to hear that, but I paid extra for the seat with extra legroom, so I would be switching to a standard seat. You're sitting next to the only open seat. You have to swap with me. Me starting to get annoyed she won't take no for an answer. No, I don't. And if you need to sit together, you should have paid extra to choose your seats, not bet that you can switch them later. Entitled mother, clearly starting to get agitated. I can't afford to pay extra for that. Just because you're rich doesn't mean everyone is. I'm a parent, so I have to save money. Now swap seats. Not sure how rich I have to be to afford 5 to 15 euros it costs to select the seat, but alright. I'm really starting to get annoyed. She won't leave me alone. I'm not going to swap with you now. Please leave me alone. Entitled mother, raising her voice even more. The stewardess said you have to swap so we can sit together. Now, do what she said and move. I've had enough, so I hit the flight crew button and the same woman they were talking to earlier comes over. How can I help you? This lady wants to swap seats with me, and she says you told... I get interrupted by the entitled mother now yelling. He won't move! You told us he had to swap seats with us. Now make him move! Flight attendant giving me a supportive look and mouths, I'm sorry. She turns to the entitled mother. I told you this is the only open seat, so if you want to sit together you could ask him if he is okay with swapping. Not that you could force him to move. If he doesn't want to swap with you, you will have to take your assigned seat. I have to sit next to my son. You have to get this R word to move, or sit us somewhere else, or I'm going to sue you and delay this plane. If you had to sit next to each other, you should have paid to select seats. Now, I've had enough of your tone, and you will have to either stop bothering this man and go back to your seat, or I will have the captain deplane you. Entitled mother looks like she's going to explode. She stands there for a moment before turning around and heading back to her seat, mumbling something. The captain calls out, the cabin crew prepare for takeoff message, and I start to let go of the tension that built up. Flight attendant smiling. Is this seat taken? I can't help but laugh as she sits down. I'm so sorry about that. When I told them to ask you, I didn't think this is what would happen. I told her it was fine, and we had a pretty nice chat during takeoff until she went back to her job. She also gave me a free drink once the service started, so despite the annoying start it turned into a pretty nice flight. Having long legs myself, I do know the value of those extra legroom seats, so I would be reluctant to give them up myself.